Hello everyone, and welcome to my Survivors of the Void DLC Enemy Tierlist. This video was requested by a Discord member who reached level 100. If you get to level 100 in my Discord, you will get one guaranteed video or appearance in a video if you'd like, so it takes a while, but if that's something you're interested in, you can find the link to the Discord down below. Anyways, I'm going to completely wing this because that's what they asked, and we're just gonna get right into this. Okay, so I've set my tiers. We've got I love this little guy as S tier. That's gonna be for my favorite. We've got cool creatures for creatures who I just think are cool but don't really love, but I also think they're better than most. Meh is for the characters. There won't be a lot in that tier, but meh is for the characters which I don't really have any particular feeling towards, and they really aren't that special. In my eyes at least. Pretty annoying but manageable are characters I don't really like but aren't the end of the world, and just, you know, they're just kind of there, but I like them less than I like them, you know? And then the last one is every day I wake up and hope you're dead! This is for the characters who, for every day I wake up I hope they're dead. And I think that one's pretty self-explanatory. Anyways, number 1, Alloy Vulture. We're just gonna put you immediately in... I think we're gonna put you in Cool Creature. Their lore is pretty cool. I like their lore. But I don't really feel that special towards them. They're kind of annoying, but, like, they aren't a threat to you at all. They do a lot of damage, don't get me wrong, but if you're moving, like, at all, they're not gonna kill you, and they're whatever. You know, they're really not a threat. This next one is the Awu, Alloy Warship Unit, Aloy, what is this, Horizon Zero Dawn, Jesus. I'm putting this in, I love this little guy, because I love this little guy. He is one of the most, I wish there was more of that, where you fight a boss and you get to go get a, you know, reward after in this game, but he is, as far as I'm aware, the only one where you get to do that, other than, like, the Aurelian Knight, you know, but yeah, he's cool. I like that guy. Next one is the Alpha Construct. I really like the Alpha Construct's, like, look, but other than that, I'm putting it in meh. I really don't care for this thing at all, and it's kind of unremarkable. It is a little bit cute, but I don't know, it's kind of boring. I don't love it, and the maps that it's on are also meh. Next is the Aurelian Knight. This is a cool creature. I don't love its boss fight that much, but it is cool that it has its own, like, realm to itself. But I mean, overall, it's like, yeah, I don't feel too much about her. Sorry. I love them, but, like, not nearly as much as the Awu. Okay, I think this tier is definitely deserving of the Awu, and you really gotta earn it up there. And I don't think the Aurelian Knight has. Next is the Beetle Guard. I'm gonna put them in meh. I don't really feel that much about the Beetle Guard. I don't really like him that much. He's got only 2 attacks, so it's not that exciting, and overall, it's just like, as heavy characters go, they're probably, like, the least threatening heavy character. Like, they can get overwhelming fast because they can chase you down, but other than that, they're really not that scary, and I don't hate them. Yeah, there's nothing special about them. They are kinda cute, but not cute enough to put them any higher. Next is the Beetle, and the Beetle is too classic of a character to not put in Cool Creature. I'm not gonna put him in I love this little guy, because he's just not deserving of it, you know? I think the Beetle... I like the Beetle's place as sort of cannon fodder to proc your on-kill items off of. I like... It's a good early game melee character, you know? I like it. It's never going to be a threat to you, really, unless you really mess up, but... I don't know. I like this character a lot as, you know, a baseline thing. Next is the Beetle Queen. I'm putting the Beetle Queen in pretty annoying but manageable. I don't like the Beetle Queen fights. Her fight is just, like, really kind of boring, you know? You just have to keep moving and get out of the you know, little insects that she throws at you, their little radiuses, you know, you just gotta keep moving. So there's not really much that happens with that character, and so, you know, I don't feel all too special about them, and I find I find them kind of boring just because they stand still and their attacks really aren't that interesting, and they bring out beetle guards, which are already meh, so not a fan. I don't know. I don't love them. Bison are going in meh. So just the bighorn bison. There's nothing special about them. They are another, large enemy that doesn't really have anything special to them, but they for sure, they for sure become a problem if you're not paying attention. Like, they can really hurt you, and you really gotta pay attention to them. So, you know what? I'm gonna order them within the tiers as well, so I'm going to put the ones higher up, like, first, ones I like more, and then ones later, like, farther away from the tier names itself, to be ones I like less. So, we're gonna move you there. And we're gonna do that. There we go. Yeah, that's about how I feel. Blind Pest. Every day I wake up and hope you're dead! Look, I know the Blind Pest hate is probably a little bit too far gone, like, it's a little bit too much, sometimes, but I like the Blind Pest in design and noises, but it's just, sometimes they'll hit you and there's just nothing you can do about it, you know? There's just nothing you can do about this random little spit glob that comes across the map and hits you because they predicted it. And I've been playing a lot of Inferno difficulty lately, and that makes it even harder because their aim is better, so it's really annoying. And I'm gonna put him right next to the Blind Vermin, because the Blind Vermin are really annoying. They're very difficult to hit on some characters, and they, like, if you're not dealing with them early, they can easily overwhelm you, and sometimes when you're in a fight with one, they can get a guaranteed hit in before you can kill them, just because they attack so fast and they bounce around so much. So I know a lot of people agree with me in saying that they're kinda whatever, you know? Next is the Brass Construct, which I don't really know how to feel about that. I used to be terrified of the Brass Constructs because their attacks do so much damage, and as for a heavy character, they are really terrifying. Okay? But now that I'm better at the game, and I actually know how to get around these guys, they're really not that annoying, and they're not a threat at all. But, like, I don't really like their design because they don't really match anything else. Like, I suppose they match, like, the Clay Boys TM, but not enough that it really is a special thing. So, I don't know. They're very unique in that sense. They are a unique enemy in that they don't really look like a living being as some of the other, as basically all of the other monsters do. So, I'm gonna move, I don't know. I'm gonna put it in Cool Creature, but I'm putting it at the bottom of Cool Creature because it's just barely above meh, and it's only above meh because of its uniqueness. Next is, what is this guy's name? The Clay, not Templar, not the boss one. It's the other dude who's just like an orb. And I think that's enough said about him. I'm putting him in meh, and I'm putting him at the bottom of meh because I don't care about him at all. I don't remember what he's called, and that says a lot about it, you know, because I play this game a whole damn lot, so, you know, the Clay guy really isn't that special. God, I'm kind of embarrassed that I don't remember what I was called. He is kind of cool looking, but I don't know. He's not very special. He's very easy to fight because all of his attacks are projected really, really obviously, so I'm gonna put him in meh for now. He's cool looking, kinda, though, so I like him. The Clay Dune Strider is next, and I'm gonna put this one in pretty annoying but manageable, and higher than the Beetle Queen, because it is pretty annoying but manageable. Its, like, suck ability that it does when it's low health is very, very annoying, but I like its attacks I don't know, fighting it is kind of miserable because of all of its like homing, the huge homing orbs are really annoying, and the suck attack is really evil, but the like overall I still like the design of it. It's really cool looking, the way it has those like spider tar legs and walks around really fast, and when it's chasing you it like leans forward of the pot and the legs are like pushing it along. It's like a really cool creatures, but I don't know if actually no, I'm moving it up to cool creature, and I'm moving it right above the brass contraption there. I think that's a better spot for him, because I think it's a pretty cool creature. Like, I like this guy a lot. It's just that fighting him is miserable, so, you know? Next is the Clay Templar. Every day I wake up and hope you're down! I don't like the Clay Templar, okay? I don't like him. He is annoying, the attacks are annoying, and yes, he's very easy to deal with, just get close to him, but the fact that if you do get close to him, he has a chance to like tar you and push you away and slow you down so other enemies can get you. He's just very annoying. However, he does have that really cool death noise that he makes, the where he like yells. I love that, okay? I do love that, but I still gotta put him down low because he is irredeemable in his actions towards me. Next is Elder Lemurian. I'm gonna put him at the bottom of pretty annoying but manageable. I like him, but like I think they're cool and kind of scary looking, but their attacks are very, very annoying, and a huge threat because they can keep up with you, you know, usually with their speed, and they can just really, if you're not paying attention, they can really ruin your run, so I don't like them very much, and they aren't cute enough to compensate for it. The Gup, Geep, and Gip, in that order, I think I have to bring them together. Gup is, I love this little guy, okay? I can't legally put Gup anywhere else. And I think the other two guys have to follow him too, you know? I think I have to let them go with him, because if I don't, then like I can't give reasoning for why I like the others less. I kind of find the Gips a little annoying. You know, they're a little bit just because they just sort of get in the way, and after the first split, the second split of the Geeps is like, okay, it's just annoying now, stop. However, for on-kill abilities, it's super fun to just like proc a bunch of like ceremonial daggers off of. I really like that, so. Next is the Granddad. This is a cool creature. I genuinely like fighting this thing. Yeah, I genuinely like fighting the grandparent. I think they're kind of funny looking. I like how they just sort of sit there and how they like scooch to look at you. I like how one of their attacks is they just throw a big rock at you because they, you know, it's like a child, you know. They're like a baby that is just mad at you for existing. And while they're a very easy boss to fight, I really like their supernova attack, which if you're not paying attention can really destroy you. Like, it's not even something you can dodge, really. It's like, if you can't break that line of sight, you are screwed. Next is the Greater Mask, Greater Wisp. There he is. I don't know why I call him a mask. It's like, is that Jim Carrey? Oh geez, the Greater Wisp, I kind of like them. I like, they're kind of funny looking how they just sort of like spin around in the air. I'm gonna put them right above the brass contraption in Cool Creature. It and the brass contraption are kind of the same, you know, enemy type, where they're just a flight character that delivers like one or two big blows at the same time. One thing that is kind of interesting to me about the Greater Wisp is that if it's powering up an attack and you kill it, it will still fire off the attack, and I kind of find that interesting. Like, sometimes it's very annoying, but I still like it, you know? I still like it. Next is the Grove Tender. I love this little guy, dude. I love this little guy so much. I gotta put him right here, and I'm also gonna switch Gup into Woo because I like Gup more. I'm gonna put him right there. I love Grove Tender. He gets way too much hate for being an easy boss to fight, but he makes funny little noises and he's super creative, how he can only really show up on that one map, and I really like him as a boss. He's a very cute, it's like a big ferret that you're fighting. I don't know, I find it really, really cute and I like it. And the lore is very wholesome for the Grove Tender, so it's just a cute creature and I like him. I do regret killing him every time, though. Next is the barnacles. They are pretty pretty annoying but manageable. They're probably at the bottom because I really don't like, you know, just the amount of zoning they put on you. If you're just trying to do like a teleporter fight and they're all way far away and just peppering you, it's really annoying. But I like how they run. They're one of the only enemies that runs away from you. That's really interesting, and I like, you know, I like their design, though they aren't very cute. They're just funny little creatures. However, their attack is annoying enough to make me not like them very much, so I'm pushing them out. No thank you. You are pretty annoying, but nah, you can stay, I suppose. I'm gonna put the Greater Imp right here. And the Greater Imp is like the opposite of the Clay Dune Strider, you know, in terms of how I like it. Like, the Clay Dune Strider is cool looking but awful to fight, and the Greater Imp is disgusting looking. However, I find his boss fight to be one of the most fun. I really like running away from it. I like that you can't hide. I like that it teleports to you no matter where you go. And I like, you know, dodging the little bleed spires on the ground. It's just, and it has really, really cool noises, you know? The death noise is really cool, and I like that creature, okay? I like fighting it. However, it does look like a really gross man, and I don't like that part of it. Speaking of imps, we have the normal imp here. I'm putting the normal imp right here in meh. I don't care for the imp at all. I find them annoying and just cannon fodder, but not in a good way, you know? Like, I like the beetles cannon fodder, but I don't like the imps cannon fodder, if that makes sense. I find them very annoying. They're not hard to deal with, they're just sort of there all the time, and they serve to be pretty, you know, problematic if things get out of hand. Jellyfish, I'm putting right at the top of pretty annoying but manageable. I like their sort of constant attack ability. Like, they have no strategy in mind as a monster. Like, most monsters will sort of like move around and strafe back and forth to dodge your attacks, but this one just goes straight for you, and I like that. I also like that you can hear it when it spawns in, no matter where it is on the map. That's kind of funny to me. If one spawns in, you hear it, and they just slowly float towards you. But I don't know, they're not interesting enough for me, and they suffer from the same like cannon fodder problem where they, you know, they're cannon fodder, but they're not, you know, interesting cannon fodder. Larvas, as many people agree with me, are the worst of the worst. Probably the worst enemy in this game, if I had to guess. Every day I wake up and hope you're dead, because God, larvas are evil. They do way too much damage for being a, like, level 1 light enemy, and with that much, like, homing ability with its attack. It only has one attack. The only redeeming factor about this thing is that it does damage to itself during its attack. That's the only redeeming factor. Otherwise, like, it's just miserable. It's gross looking, its attack is awful, and is potentially game ruining. And it's just so annoying. I hate this thing so much, and I don't want to talk about it anymore. Lemurian's going at the top of pretty annoying but manageable. No, apparently he's not. There he goes. Because you know, he's fine. He's just fine, you know? He's just fine. I don't feel any way about the Lemurians. I find them kind of uncanny valley, how they're human-like. I don't know. I don't really like that, but they're kind of cool as early things, and I like how, depending on how close you are to them, they'll have varying attack styles, but overall they're just sort of a nuisance all the time, and they don't have the charm that the beetle does, so. Next is the Lesser Wisp, and I like the Lesser Wisp. I'm gonna put it right above its greater, you know, its greater counterpart, because it's cannon fodder in a good way. I like this guy. I like sending huge, like, will-o'-the-wisp chains off of groups of them, and they never really do that much damage to be annoying. Like, they can be annoying because it's hard to dodge their attacks, but they never do that much, you know? So it's never a problem. The real problem comes from the ignited ones, the ones that have the fire elite aspect. That one's, God, they're annoying. God, they're so annoying. But the rest of them are a-okay, love them to bits. I find them very cool and very interesting as an enemy to fight, even though they're incredibly weak. Next is the Lunar Chimera Orb thing. I'm putting that at the top of Every Day I Wake Up and Hope You're Dead. Or sorry, Every Day I Wake Up and Hope You're Dead! Because it's just so lame. It's so annoying, and pillars are already a monotonous task at the end of a run that just sort of make you kind of get bored the whole time, but these guys make them 10 times worse because they sometimes make you have to step out of the pillars for a bit, and they're just problematic. However, if they only showed up during phase 2 and 3 in the Mithrix fight, like they do now, then I'd be totally okay with them, okay? I love them during that fight because they allow me to proc on kill effects onto Mithrix and also just act as another hazard there, which is fine because I don't have to stand in a really tiny circle during the Mithrix fight like I do for pillars. Other than that, they are very annoying, not interesting, and not cute. Next is the Lunar Chimera Golem. I don't know where to put him. I think I'm going to put him in Cool Creature, right above the Imp. I like this guy. They're not a threat at all unless you get, like, unless you're really not paying attention. Their tracking ability is god-awful because their turning radius is super slow, but I think they're very cute. I don't know why. For being, like, a stone tank, a stone, like, weapon system, I find it kind of cute. I really like how when sometimes during commencement you'll see them, like, sliding around for some reason. I don't know why they do that, but they do it for some reason, and it reminds me of, like, you know, a 7-year-old that you just put in a swivel chair unattended. I don't know, I like it. Next is the Lunar Chimera Wisp. God, I don't know where to put this one because I both find it really cool looking but also hate it to death. So I think I'm going to put it in pretty annoying but manageable, but at the bottom of pretty annoying but manageable. I do not like this thing at all, except for the fact that it looks cool and is sort of an interesting thing to fight, but sometimes death to them are completely helpless because of the lack of cover that some of commencement has. They'll just shred you and there's nothing you can do about it. They're also very difficult to deal with on some characters, like, you know, Mercenary, because they just move around so goddamn much. But again, same with the Lunar Chimera Orb, they do provide a cool aspect during the Mithrix fight. I like when they show up there. I do not like them anywhere else. Next is Magma Worm. They're going at the bottom of I love this little guy. I find him kind of cute, and I find him really, really cool to fight. Like, it's one of the most interesting fights. It's kind of easy because it's not really a threat to you, but I really think it's really, really awesome to see it, like, ripping through the environment like it does. And there's not much more to say about it. Next is the Malachite Urchin, which I don't even know why that's even considered a monster in itself, but I guess he can come. You're never gonna die to these guys. You might take a little bit of damage, but they only ever show up when you kill a Malachite elite, and even then they just sort of sit in the air for a little bit and then they despawn by themselves after a little while. I feel like if we're counting the Malachite Urchin as an enemy, we should count the healing orb that comes out of mending elites as an enemy. But anyways, I'm putting this guy at the bottom of Meb because I just do not care about him or think about him at all. Next is the Mushroom. I'm gonna put them in Cool Creature, just above the Wisp, I think. I like the Mushroom. They're an interesting character design, how they sort of kite the outsides. They're like what the Barnacle, they do what the Barnacle doesn't, where they actually sort of get into the fight, but they don't actively chase you, and they do still run away from you, kind of. And I like that they have that, like, escape if they're low health. They're one of the only enemies that heals themselves actively, which is one of the only non-boss enemies that heals themselves, which is pretty cool. Mithrix, the big boy himself. I love this little guy, dude. I'm gonna put him at the right above the Geep Gip and Magma Worm in I Love This Little Guy. I find him very funny. I find him to be a little pathetic man, and I appreciate beating up pathetic men. You can quote me on that. Put that on a bumper sticker. I appreciate... This driver appreciates beating up pathetic men. Jesus Christ. Anyways, he's a pathetic little guy, and I like beating him up. And his fight is genuinely interesting. They did a very good job designing that fight, despite it being relatively easy. But I like how if you go into the first 3 phases and you're doing really well, you actually have to stop and be like, okay, will phase 4 be a problem? Because he's going to take all my items, you know? So it's a little scary. Next is the Newt. Every day I wake up and hope you're dead. You are below the larva to me. You are just an errand, a shop boy, okay? You mean nothing to me. I hate you, okay? I hate you. Don't even ask. He wronged me. He deserves deserves to be in that tier, period. End of story. Next is the overloading worm, which I surprisingly don't like as much as the magma worm. I find it to be way too loud and kind of overstimulating. It makes the screen kind of flash, so I'm gonna put this in, like, the bottom of pretty annoying but manageable, so... Actually, the top, rather, sorry, that's what I meant. Because it's a cool fight, it's a cool enemy, it's one of the rarest enemies in the game, but it's also just so much to handle at once, and... meh. However, it does bring you the Churferator, so that's a cool aspect. Next is the parent. I do not care about the parent at all. I'm putting it right in the middle of meh because I have no thoughts about it ever. I do find it kind of funny how they spawn in, where they just sort of T-pose or A-pose and just sort of stare at you, and then sort of slowly follow you, and their teleport attack is kind of cool, but otherwise they're just more cannon fodder. They're just another heavy enemy that I don't care about. Next is Scavenger. I'm putting the Scavenger up in the bottom of I Love This Little Guy. He's a cute little creature who makes cute little noises. I'm also, because it's not on this list, I'm including all of the lunar scavengers that show up in the A Moment Hole in that group with this scavenger, and they all belong there. I find their aspect really cool. Their lore is kind of sad, but still, I like them a lot. I just think they're very cute, and they belong up there, and their fights are very interesting, okay? I like that they are the boss above bosses, in a way, you know? Like, if you get enough mountain shrines, it just considers that to be the hardest boss it can give you, you know? It's cool. Next is the Soulless Control Unit, which is just the alloy worship unit, but if it was unremarkable in every single way and was boring all the time. I am putting this one at the bottom of pretty annoying but manageable. Next one, it's just so boring. There's nothing to say about it, but I don't hate it, you know? It's kind of funny how it, like, screams when it dies. That's the only interesting part. Next is the Soulless Probe. Every day I wake up and hope you're dead. I'm putting this one right above the larva because it's slightly less annoying, but oh my god, the lasers! Oh my god, the lasers! Oh my god, I hate them so much. I don't even feel like I need to explain that. Oh my god, I hate them so much. Stone Golems I'm putting up right next to the Beetle. I find they fill the same niche as the Beetle, where they're just cannon fodder, but instead they're heavy enemies instead of a light enemy. And I find their laser kind of annoying. It can really, really hurt you, and getting hit with it when you're doing a very difficult run is just, like, so disheartening. You get hit by the laser and you're just like, ah. Really? But I like that it starts blinking when they're about to fire, so you know when to dodge, and it's not like just a guessing game. But yeah, they're relatively unremarkable. I do like their design, though. Next is the Stone Titan. I'm gonna put it right next to the Stone Golem, and in between the Lunar Chimera Golem and the Stone Golem. The Golem trio there. They're all kind of cool looking. The Stone Golem's Stone Titan's very cool looking. I like its attacks. I like that you can outplay it by standing at its feet to not make it do the laser attack. I like its punch attack that it does from anywhere on the map, and it's just a cool character fight overall. It's classic Risk of Rain 2. I love it a lot. Void Barnacles I'm putting at the very top of Every Day I Wake Up and Hope You're Dead. Not because I hate them. They're just so you know? Like, they're gross looking, they always spawn in, like, the hardest to get to spots and do not come to you, and they have homing attacks. So, you know, they're not really a problem, but they are by far the most unremarkable Void enemy. The next is the Void Devastator, however, which is the complete opposite. I love this little guy, but not as much as any of the other guys I love. He is just a really cool fight. I like that we got a Void boss, other than the Voidling that spawned, and he's just really cool. I really like the really huge jailed or detained circle it drops when it dies, and yeah, I think I don't have anything else to say. It's not really cute looking because it is a crab, but other than that, I don't know, I just like it. And then going all the way back down, we have Void Infester, which is going right in between Soulless Probe and the Blind Vermin. Oh my god, I hate this thing so much. They're so small, and on some characters like Railgunner, you can't even like hit them sometimes because the homing doesn't like track them properly, and they're just so annoying sometimes. I do like their interaction with the Void Seeds, but that's it. Other than that, they are just annoying all the time, and they make other enemies stronger, which is also annoying. Because there's always the possibility they infect, like, a larva, or a gup, God forbid. Next is the Void Jailer. I'm putting him right in between Brass Contraption and Greater Wisp of Cool Creature. He's a cool creature. I like his attacks. I find his sounds really cool. I find that his detained thing you actually have to run away from is pretty interesting. Though I find his the rooting ability very annoying. No other enemy roots you as far as I'm aware, and I hate that he does that. So, you know, he's just a problem with that. But other than that, he's relatively pretty cool, and he's very cool looking. I don't know, I find the shrimp face pretty cool. The Voidling I'm putting in meh, surprisingly, top of meh. I like the Voidling fight, but I wish it were more interesting, you know? I wish they added something to make Phase 2 more interesting with the Voidling fight. Because Phase 1 is normal. It's supposed to be the easiest phase. Then you go to Phase 2 and it's just like the same thing again, but he has one extra attack, that big like suck attack, which he does sometimes, maybe, if you're lucky. And there's enemies that spawn in Phase 2 and 3, but like, those enemies are never a problem, and he does attack the enemies as well, so it's like, why are they even there, you know? They're never a threat. I wish that the enemies that did spawn were more dangerous. Like, give me an Elder Lemurian or something, really spice it up, because otherwise it's kind of a boring fight. I also don't really like the parkour sections in between the fight, so nah, whatever. Void Reavers are going in between Magma Worm and Gips. I like them. They've got a little :3 face on them, which is very cute. And you know, that's my favorite part about them. They are not a threat to you basically at all anymore. Like their one attack is kind of annoying, but other than that, they're more a tool for you. Like they are a fifth ability where you kill them and then they kill other enemies with their detainment. You know, that's all I use them for anyways. So, not a threat. Next one is Wandering Vagrant. I don't like this thing. I'm putting it in between the Elder Lemurian and the Queen Beetle, the Beetle Queen. Because it's just so boring. It's boring looking, the fight is kind of annoying, and the big explosion attack is just an inconvenience all the time. It's never really like that interesting to fight into, and it's just in the way. I don't like it. And for our final one, we have the Zai Construct. Every day I wake up and hope you're dead. I am putting it right between the Soulless Probe and the Larva. God, I hate this thing so much. Its laser attack does so much damage. It is kind of hard to dodge. It doesn't track you as well as the Stone Golem's laser, but it does way more damage and does explode when it's done, so it's really annoying. And then when it's half health, if you don't have movement abilities and can't get up to it, it just shields and you can't do anything to it for a while. It's like, god damn it. I do find it interesting that it spawns alpha constructs on its sides. That is a cool thing, because you can proc like gasolines off of it, but even then it's like not worth it. I don't like this thing at all. It's very, very annoying to fight, and just I don't like it at all. But anyways, that's it for my Risk of Rain 2 enemies tier list. what would you guys change? Do you guys make any huge disagreements with me? Would you move anything around? You know, what is your favorite? What is your least favorite? And yeah, other than that, I will see you later. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you to our members, The_Radiance, Ree, Lucas Houston, Shadowtree, Supreme Pharaoh, Soap, A Brief Gamer, and Natalie Cameron for supporting the channel like that. If you'd like to support the channel like they did, you absolutely can, but if you don't want to, that's also fine. You can always just like, subscribe, join the Discord, or check me out on Twitch. Other than that, I will see you later. Bye-bye.